Welcome back, everyone. For those new, my name's Mike, and today we have some breaking news, which is good in today's instance, almost exclusively good. There's one part that's not as good as it could be, if you will, but having to do with this guy here and other items like it, stabilizing braces. So long story short, many of you guys know that there has been a proposed rule by the ATF trying to regulate these types of devices and essentially make it illegal for folks to use them. And if they did use them on a gun that had a barrel of less than 16 inches, essentially they were guilty of owning an SBR, short barrel rifle, which is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison. So there was a ruling about 60 days ago saying that anyone who owned these who was a member of FPC, Firearms Policy Coalition, there was an injunction essentially stopping anybody from enforcing it. Therefore, you could legally maintain and use them if you were an FPC member. Well, that was a 60-day injunction, and that 60 days expired on Saturday. So new ruling came out, and this one is interesting. So before we get into that, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is these folks right here at Battle Cat Company. They are unabashed supporters of the Second Amendment. They make soft goods, obviously shirts with gun-oriented and Pro 2A-oriented type of designs. You guys can check them out. They also make stickers, swag, all types of other stuff, but you guys can check them out at the link below. It will be down on your screen here as well as in the video description. So again, thanks to Battle Cat Co. For sponsoring the video. Now, the ruling here is 38 pages, so it's not that long. I will put a link to it down below that you guys can check out. But I did read it this morning, and I wanted to make the video consumable. And basically, I picked out 3 points that are very important for you guys to know going forward. So this case, again, pertains to FPC members, Firearms Policy Coalition members, but we'll get into other groups here in just a second. And basically, I'm going to get into Judge O'Connor, who is essentially the Fifth Circuit's version of Judge Benitez in the Ninth Circuit. He's a federal judge who is actually able to read the Constitution and interpret it correctly. That is not always the case these days with federal judges. But just in the ruling, he says, the ATF's own regulatory analysis concludes that the final rule, which is what the ATF calls their stabilizing brace rule, has effectively reclassified 99% of all pistols with stabilizing braces to NFA rifles, which is true. He continues on, the ATF has already reclassified a whole host of specific weapons platforms and commercially available brace firearms to NFA rifles. Upon review of this record, in conjunction with plaintiff's declaration, there is no doubt that the final rule will subject both FPC members to criminal liability for currently possessing each of their brace pistols. The moment the Fifth Circuit's injunction dissolves, Mock and Lewis, who are the plaintiffs in this case, will become felons because their brace pistols have become unregistered SBRs under the final rule's reinterpretation of the NFA. So, good summary there by the judge. Absolutely true. And then he continues on much further down in the ruling. And this one's a big one, and it could have much further implications, I guess you could say, than just for the brace rule. So he states the conduct of acquiring, attaching, and maintaining rearward attachments such as stabilizing braces serves to make the pistol more stable and thus the user more accurate. And as explained earlier, accuracy in turn promotes safety, which is absolutely true. In real-life exercise of self-defense. The successful performance of armed self-defense entails not only deterring or neutralizing life-threatening perpetrators, but also preserving innocent life and preventing bodily injury to others as much as possible. Users directly advance these fundamental ends of self-defense when they modify lawfully bearable pistols with a rearward attachment, whether a brace or a stock. So that last part there, whether a brace or a stock, modifying lawfully owned pistols, he's saying that is covered under the Second Amendment. So what does that mean? Well, it means that's a big opening for a lot of other lawsuits to go into and go after that National Firearms Act, which regulates short barrel rifles. And I think that's probably coming very soon after reading this. He goes into the accuracy and safety much more in the decision. So again, if you guys want to read that, you can check it out down below. Now we're going to get into the part of the ruling that you guys aren't going to like most likely, and what the judge here states is the court declines plaintiff's invitation to extend the scope of injunctive relief nationwide. Injunctive relief, reflecting that previously afforded by the Fifth Amendment to the plaintiffs, is sufficiently limited to not provide relief beyond the parties to the case. So essentially what he's saying there is that his ruling, as of right now, this injunctive relief that he's extending in perpetuity is for Firearms Policy Coalition members only to be able to use their braces going forward. And again, we'll get into what that means for other folks here in just a second. And moving into a part that you guys are going to like, it goes on to say, accordingly, the court orders that government defendants, the Attorney General of the United States Department of Justice, the Director of the ATF itself, and each of their respective officers, agents, servants, and employees are hereby enjoined from implementing and or enforcing against the Firearms Policy Coalition and all of its members the provision within what is essentially the final rule, and that the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit has determined are unlawful. Enjoined from implementing and or enforcing against Maxim Defense and any of their customers. And then it also goes down to say enjoined from implementing and or enforcing against William Mock, who is one of the plaintiffs in this case, and enjoined or implementing or enforcing against Christopher Lewis, who also is a plaintiff in this case. It goes on to state that the family members are also covered by everyone. So if you are an immediate family member of a member of Firearms Policy Coalition, then you are good to go to be able to use your braces. So the reason I said that this only applies to FPC is because, as you can see there, it only applies to FPC as well as the defendants, as well as people who own something by Maxim Defense. Now, if you remember back 60 days ago when the news broke, essentially what happened right after that is that GOA, Second Amendment Foundation, also got injunctive relief for their members and their family members, but they had to apply for it with the FPC ruling as the basis of their complaint, I guess you could say, or argument. So what is very likely to happen today, probably as of when I'm recording this, the folks at both Gun Owners of America as well as Second Amendment Foundation are probably applying for that right now. It will be granted within the next day or two is my guess, because again, according to what he says in here, Judge O'Connor, as well as the Bruin decision, which relies on the text, history, and tradition of the Second Amendment as it was written in 1791, there is no way the government can tell you you can't add a brace to a pistol. I mean, it's black and white. There really is no argument at this point. It's just a matter of time before these things work themselves through the courts. So if you are not a member of FPC and you want to support what they're doing, definitely I'd recommend you do so. There will be a link down below for you guys to support them. They're doing great work for Americans for sure. The same will be true for the Gun Owners of America, as well as the Second Amendment Foundation. Again, there will be links down below for folks who are looking for that injunctive relief or to support those organizations, because again, they are doing the work that needs to be done, because unfortunately our lawmakers are not doing what they're supposed to do and not doing their jobs, and they're just letting these regulatory agencies attempt to make rules, so the courts have to slap them down. So that is all I have for you guys. We have good news for sure, and I expect, again, the next day or two, a lot more good news to come regarding different groups of people. And the reason I should note that it doesn't or rather the judge isn't extending this nationwide, is that there is a pending case in the Fifth Circuit right now to do that. It's a separate case. So that could come any day now as well. So it could be nationwide injunction. And one thing that's notable as well about this versus the earlier one that was limited to 60 days is it's in perpetuity until either the law changes or something happens at a much higher level court. So that is it, guys. That's all I got for you. Good news. If you like this video and you're not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. If you've done that and you've not hit the notification bell, or if you have done that rather, and you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, make sure you sign up for my email at the website here on your screen. This email goes out once a month, and it has all of the videos since the previous month's email. So that way there's no big tech giant censoring your eyes from my content. It goes straight from me to you. And then additionally, if there are sales on braces, stocks, firearms, ammo, optics, etc., that goes out every day in my daily deals email. It contains 8 of the best deals that we find around the internet. If it's in the email that particular day, it's the cheapest I know of for that product. So that way you guys save some time and some money, because I've already done all the price comparisons for you. And it also has a good meme that a lot of people like, so you can sign up for that at the website here on your screen. And that is it. I look forward to your comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.